Hi, welcome back to the AB Incubators Workshops. Today we're going to do a short video just to show you how to set up and calibrate an Itron 32 processor. Processors fitted to many of our machines, mainly the Mark 6 Professional Incubator desktop model. Okay, the first thing you need to do is to understand that the processor has no known reference point in its memory, so you need to give it a reference point as to what the temperature actually is. Now, to be sure of what the temperature actually is, we use inside the machine a calibrated mercury thermometer. This particular one comes from a Scientific Suppliers, and they put it through their own test house, and it's calibrated at 37.5 with a variation of 0.05 degrees, so it's 500ths of a degree variation, which is plenty adequate for this job. Okay, the current set point on this controller is 13.6, and the machine is up to temperature and controlling at that temperature. So the temperature inside the machine, if I look at the thermometer, is actually 13.3. Now, this calibration can be done at absolutely any temperature. I tend to do it at a low temperature first as we test the machines to get it close, and then we do it again at 37.5 or whatever your incubation temperature is going to be as a fine calibration. So at the moment there is 0.3 variation between the controller and the known mercury thermometer. The mercury thermometer reading 0.3 degrees lower. Okay, we need to lower therefore the display by 0.3 of a degree. So to do this, you press and hold the P button, the left hand button of the three, which brings you to the AL parameter. None of these want to be changed at this point. We need to go through to find the calibration procedure. To do that, press and release the P button a number of times until you reach Y0, which I've just gone past. Okay, press and hold the P button. We do that again. Okay, to AL. You go through until you find Y0. Once you reach Y0, press and hold the P button. This will take you through to C111. Again, we don't want to alter any of these parameters at the moment. Scroll through, pressing the P button a number of times until you get to OFFS. OFFS stands for offset, and it takes out the reading variation between your thermometer and the controller. Okay, so we know that the temperature inside the machine is 0.3 of a degree lower than the controller was reading, so we need to put in a minus figure to take the display value down by 0.3. Okay, at this point you can just leave the controller alone, and after around 20 seconds it will time out and it will go back to reading the operating temperature. This should now be 0.3 lower than it was when we started, so it should now be reading 13.3. there we go, absolutely spot on cue, and the temperature inside the machine is in fact 13.3. so that is now calibrated. What we would then do is run the machine up by changing the set point and taking the set point up to 37.5. Allow the machine come up to that temperature, and then repeat the procedure, going through to offset, putting in whatever variation there is. In normal circumstances, that variation will be no more than 0.1 of a degree. It's just a nice way of us being able to set them up virtually cold when they first go on test, and not having to worry about them until they hit the operating temperature of 37.5. Okay, I hope that was useful. If by any chance you do get stuck, if you go back to the website www.abincubators.co.uk and look for the links back to YouTube, there are other instructional videos on setting up these particular controllers. If your controller is not an Itron 32 but a West 2300, which was fitted to some earlier models of this particular incubator, there is also a video on there for how to calibrate the machine, and also one on there about setting parameters and configuration. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.